F4 Spanish Championship checking into Portimão, the racing would be stop-start and flamboyant from the outset. A first pole position for Keanu Al-Azhari was quickly converted into the lead, ahead of Ernesto Rivera and Mattia Colnaghi. But the safety car was needed very quickly. Francisco Macedo and Eloy Gonzalez were stationary on lap 2, and that neutralized the field. On the restart, some good battles were beginning to emerge, with René Lammers under pressure from James Agozzi and Thomas Strauven. Ernesto Rivera would eventually lose ground, as rival after rival found a way to move him aside, and the Mexican would eventually slump back to 8th. It would be the Belgian Thomas Strauven that would sweep ahead of both Agozzi and Lammers, with a committed move around the outside into turn 1. Lucas Flusha was able to work his way forward from a lowly 12th on the grid back into the points, with some great overtakes. His progress was finally thwarted by René Lammers. Mikel Pedersen and Matteo Quintarelli then tangled on the back straight, and the safety car would return. With no time left to clear the wreckage and resume racing, Keanu Al-Azhari would claim his first F4 Spanish win, 10 years to the day since the first ever F4 race. Colnaghi and Strauven would join him on the podium. Race 2, and Al-Azhari would again lead from pole as Griffin Peebles and Rivera chased him down for supremacy. Whilst at the tail end, Peter Buzinelos would end his race early in turn 3. Ivan David was also out on lap 1, whilst Gabriel Gomez and Enzo Tarnvanichkul would go back to the pits. Gomez would later retire, whilst Tarnvanichkul would emerge a lap down. Lammers was also in trouble, dropping to the back of the pack. As the race resumed, Ernesto Rivera charged after Peebles and moved ahead before the first corner, with Agozzi trying and failing to join him. Nathan Tye was then pitched into Thomas Strauven, and the two men were out on the spot, which of course meant that the safety car was needed again. This time, on the restart, Rivera stormed ahead of Al-Azhari as he timed his restart to perfection. But before the young man from Dubai could retaliate, René Lammers made a bold move on Christian Cantu, and it backfired, with both men out, and yet again, the safety car was deployed, ruining any chances that the MP Motorsport man had of returning the favour to Rivera for the time being. We would then be treated to a 2-lap showdown, with Al-Azhari trying every trick in the book to move ahead of the Mexican. Despite an incident between Maxi Restrepo and Tim Gerhards, the race would not be neutralised with only a few miles left to run. It was a wonderful end for Ernesto Rivera as he became the 4th different race winner in 5 races, ahead of the MP Motorsport teammates of Al-Azhari and Peebles. It may not have been a perfect hat-trick of victories, but a hat-trick of poles for Al-Azhari was confirmed for race 3, with Nathan Tye joining him on the front row. It would stay that way with the first lap unfolding cleanly up front, whilst James Agozzi fought valiantly with Thomas Strauven. The Belgian would take more pressure from Ernesto Rivera and Mattia Colnaghi in the early stages. The Polish talents Jan Piotrowski and Maciej Gladish had made great progress through the weekend, but they were clearly saving their best racecraft for the final race. The third encounter continued on with lap times traded relentlessly between Al-Azhari and Tye, but the British driver just couldn't quite make his move. And so Al-Azhari grabbed his second victory of the weekend and emerged with the championship lead. Tye and Strauven would join him on the podium. But 3 6th places for Lucas Flusha means that the MP Motorsport hero from Dubai now has a 28-point lead, heading to the next event at Paul Ricard in France.